What's going on, guys? So I was on my way to work the other day and I noticed my coolant temp was kind of spiking pretty high. Pulled over, didn't really see any leaks or anything crazy with it, so I ended up just putting some water in it. That's all I had at the time. And then I got it home after work, tried to put some fluid in it, and noticed there was a huge leak. It seems like it's just coming out of the lower radiator hose. So I'm going to pull it into the shop. It seems like it was towards the end of the hose, so maybe I'll just cut the end of the hose off and see if that fixes it. I feel like it was coming out of the weep hole a while ago for the water pump, so I have a new water pump too, just in case. But if the hose fixes it, and maybe it was just weeping out of the hose in that same spot at the water pump, then that'd be a nice, cheap, easy fix. So we'll bring it in the shop and see what's going on. I don't know if you can see very well down there, but it's definitely a big puddle of fluid. You know, I was feeling around the hose when it happened, and it seemed like it was coming out of this upper clamp right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, inspect the hose and see what's going on with that. Alright, so I got the hose out, and we're not actually seeing any real problems. I mean, it's a little dug up right there, but it's not through. This, the bottom side of it wasn't leaking there. It's definitely coming out of top. So I'm gonna stick the hose back on, and we're gonna let it run for a minute and see exactly where it's coming out. All right, well, we couldn't figure out where the leak was coming from. I'm pretty sure it's the hose. We put the hose back on, it started leaking instantly out of the back side of it. So I think there's a hole where the clamp is, but we couldn't bend it enough in our hands to see the hole. So I got a new hose. Go ahead, throw that on, and we'll see how it works out from there. Alright, so it seems like there's still a pretty steady leak coming out of the back of it's got to be the water pump because the hose is good. But you can see the stream coming right down the back of the hose there. So I guess I'm gonna pull the water pump out, or at least pull everything off and inspect the water pump. Which is weird because the bearing and everything else is fine, but I guess anything's possible. Alright, time to pull that all apart. Alright, so we're gonna pull the water pump out now. It's not too bad, it's only right there. First I gotta take the upper shroud off, take the fan off, take my lower hose back off again, and then should be able to get to all the bolts. Take my belt off. Belt's easy, it's just a lower bolt on that pulley. Just pull on it with like a breaker bar or something, and it'll spin it out of the way. It's only spring loaded, so that's kind of nice. Alright, well, let's get to work. So good little tip for getting these nuts loose is leave the belt on. It'll hold the pulley somewhat. I only had to stick my hand on here, help hold the pulley along with the belt, and they came loose. So it wasn't too bad. But shroud's off. Gives you, with the shroud off, it actually gives you plenty of room. It's really nice that Chevy did that. They give you a split shroud. So I just tried taking that off, and well, it just broke off. It crumbled. Junk. How do they use junk like that? So I guess I gotta go find a new one of those. Yep. Alright, so I got the water pump out. I mean, gaskets don't look completely shot. This one's a little rough on the bottom. But what it seems like is it might have been this gasket that might have gave out, or if you see that little hole right there, that's the weep hole. But this gasket here, stay light, stay, has kind of just turned to mush. So I'm guessing it was leaking for a while and it just completely deteriorated that one. Oh well, I got the new one. I got all new gaskets, so I'll put the new one in. I do have to pull the studs out of this one and put it in a new one. That shouldn't be too bad though. And over on the block side, it's actually not too bad. I mean, that looks like it's definitely been leaking water out of the bottom of it. So, kind of really have a feeling that's where my problem was. Anyway, alright, well, I'm gonna get these cleaned up. Gotta run, try and grab a new one of these little weird clip things, because it actually clips right onto it. Yeah, I broke the other side anyways, but it's just like cheap junk cast crap. Good parts on stuff, damn it. Well, after running around everywhere and Advanced not having it and AutoZone actually had it, so there's a new one. Got it. Alright, so I got my thin layer on there. I also prefer to do it like this tube, because there's no real way of holding the gasket. I guess if you put a couple of the bolts in. So I like to do that, and then it just kind of sticks on there. That, and if there is any imperfections, it'll seal it. But that should be fine. Alright, well, water pump's back in. The heater hose is all hooked back up. That worked out pretty good. I'm gonna finish it up now. Let's see, pulley, fan. Oh no. Slap the belt on in there, and then I'll put the pulley and fan on. And then I'll fully put the belt on. And then I'm gonna put the shroud back on. Oh, might as well put that hose back on first and then put the shroud back on. Actually, I'll put the hose on first. Yeah, and then I'll put everything else on. That should be good. Real good, real nice. Alright, well, fan, belt, hose are all back on. Water pump's done. Now I just need to throw the shroud on and throw some coolant in it, and then let it run for a minute, bleed the system. Alright, well, truck is running, runs good. Got all the heat on, it's just cycling through, waiting for it to warm up. So I don't see any leaks yet, should be good. Hopefully that's the end of that. And then I don't have to worry about no more heat, or at least any more stupid stuff, because it's cold. I don't want to do this anymore. That's done. Yeah, I don't see any more leaking down there, so pretty sure it was just that one gasket on the outside, but it's a good thing we changed it all out. Alright, well, until next time, truck brakes. Well, actually, the heat isn't working on medium and medium low anymore. And these lights are really dim, so I want to change out these lights. These dome lights back here, they don't work. Well, those do sometimes work. Oh, there we go, we got one to work. The other one's not working, but this center one doesn't work. I want that one to work, and I want the one in the back to work. Gonna get some bulbs for that. These door bulbs don't work, so the door doesn't light up. So I'm gonna order a switch. As you see, it's blowing. Got nothing for these two. Nothing. And then it turns back on for low. So, ooh, it's nice and warm in here. Keep that going. And my dash lights are getting a little dim, so I gotta pull out that panel and probably switch those bulbs. Probably just do LED everything. So that'll probably be next video. And these mirrors, I gotta order the mirrors and get the and get this thing done, because it's gonna be snowing. And I don't have a girlfriend, but the kid always sits in the passenger seat, so she's gonna be pissed when it's snowing on her. But all right, see y'all next time. It's whistling. I think it's gonna explode. I don't know what the hell it is. Sounds like maybe intake. My intake whistle. It wants to be turboed. Screams. That's all it is. Scream. One day.